Did you know some Jefferson wartime nickels that originally cost just 5 cents can now be worth hundreds of dollars because of their silver content, rarity, and history tied to World War II? Today, we're uncovering the 6 most valuable and expensive examples that every collector dreams of finding. First, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of one of America's most intriguing wartime coins, the 1944 Jefferson nickel struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This 5-cent piece, often discovered in circulated or even very dirty condition, carries with it a history unlike any other in U.S. coinage. We'll explore its background, design, rarity, collector appeal, and of course, its market value, while also giving you some practical tips if you ever hope to add one to your own collection. By the end, you'll understand why this coin continues to capture the imagination of coin collectors and history enthusiasts alike. The 1944 Jefferson nickel belongs to what collectors call the wartime nickels. These were struck from 1942 through 1945, during the height of World War II, when the United States needed nickel metal for the production of armor plating and weaponry. To save this critical resource, the Mint changed the composition of the nickel to a mix of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This silver content makes the wartime nickels unique among the Jefferson series. The year 1944, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 119 million coins, was a time when the U.S. economy was completely geared towards supporting the war effort. Holding one of these nickels is like holding a small piece of American history from one of its most defining eras. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, you'll find Felix Schlag's enduring portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the nation's third president. His profile faces left, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," along with the date, 1944, clearly displayed. On the reverse, the famous Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, takes center stage, framed by the words "E Pluribus Unum" and "United States of America." What makes the wartime nickels instantly recognizable is the large mint mark placed above Monticello. For the Philadelphia Mint, a bold P was used for the very first time in U.S. coinage history, making it stand out. Even if found in very dirty condition, this oversized mint mark immediately tells collectors they are looking at a wartime issue. Despite the relatively high mintage, many 1944 Philadelphia nickels have not survived in pristine form. Years of circulation, environmental wear, and handling have left the majority in heavily worn or dirty condition. Coins with full details on Jefferson's hair, Monticello's steps, and strong luster are significantly harder to locate. In fact, finding one in uncirculated condition, especially with full steps on the reverse, can be a true challenge. Because silver is softer than nickel, these wartime issues often show more wear than earlier coins, making high-grade survivors much rarer than the mintage numbers suggest. Collector demand for the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel remains strong because of its dual identity. It is both a wartime artifact and a silver-based coin. Unlike standard nickels, these pieces actually carry intrinsic silver value, which adds to their appeal. Furthermore, they are central to completing a Jefferson nickel set, and collectors who focus on wartime coins specifically prize them. Among the Jefferson series, the wartime nickels are a standout group, and the 1944 Philadelphia issue, with its prominent P mint mark, holds a special place in that narrative. For many collectors, owning one represents not just completing a set, but owning a slice of American resilience during World War I. In terms of value, the coin shows an interesting spread. In well-worn or dirty circulated condition, the 1944 P nickel might sell for around $800 to $1,600, primarily due to its silver content. However, in higher circulated grades with more detail visible, values rise to $2,400 or $3,300. When you move into uncirculated territory, prices increase dramatically. A brilliant uncirculated example can range anywhere from $4,500 to $6,000, while coins with exceptional luster and sharp details, especially those graded with full steps on Monticello, can command hundreds of dollars, with top-end auction results reaching $9,000 or more. This wide spectrum of prices makes the coin accessible to beginners while still offering serious investment potential for advanced collectors. For those hoping to add a 1944 P nickel to their collection, condition should always be your first consideration. Look for coins with clear strike details, especially on Jefferson's hair and Monticello's steps, as these areas wear down first. Grading services can help verify quality, but you can also train your eye by comparing coins side by side. Don't ignore dirty coins either. Sometimes a simple cleaning by a professional conservator can reveal surprisingly strong details beneath the surface. The 1944 Jefferson Wartime Nickel from Philadelphia stands out as one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatics. Its wartime silver composition, its historical backdrop, and its iconic design make it far more than just another 5-cent piece. For new collectors, it offers affordability and history in one package. For seasoned numismatists, it offers the challenge of hunting high-grade examples with full steps. This is a coin that connects past to present, making it an essential addition to any collection. And if you enjoyed learning about this rare Jefferson nickel, stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll be uncovering another incredible coin that has its own surprising history and hidden value you won't want to miss. And secondly, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and sought-after pieces of American coinage, the most valuable and rare 1943 Jefferson Wartime Nickel with the Philadelphia P mint mark, a coin that is far more than its 5-cent face value would ever suggest. And this particular example we're examining today is in a very dirty, crusty condition that just adds to its incredible history. The Jefferson Nickel series was young when World War II necessitated a dramatic shift in its composition. The year 1943 was the heart of the conflict, and nickel, a metal critical for the production of armor and artillery, was desperately needed for the war effort. In response, the U.S. Mint made a pivotal change, removing the nickel from the 5-cent piece entirely for the first time. The Philadelphia Mint, along with Denver and San Francisco, began striking these coins on planchets made from an alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This silver alloy gives the wartime nickel its distinct look and feel, and it's the only time in the series these metals were used, making every 1943 nickel a tangible piece of homefront history. The design, by Felix Schlag, remained consistent with the pre-war nickels, but with one massive and telling alteration on the reverse. The obverse features the left-facing profile of President Thomas Jefferson, with the word liberty to the right and the motto, "In God We Trust," along the left edge. The date, 1943, is situated to the lower right of the portrait. The real story, however, is on the reverse. The primary feature is Monticello, Jefferson's famed estate, but above the building, you will find a large and prominent letter P. This is the mint mark for Philadelphia, a mint that traditionally did not place its mark on coins. This was a special directive to identify these unique silver alloy issues, and it is placed directly above the dome of Monticello, making it a key diagnostic feature for the wartime series. When discussing the rarity and survival rate of the 1943 P nickel, it's crucial to understand the context. While the Philadelphia Mint produced over 270 million of these coins, making it common in circulated grades, its survival in any condition that retains its original surface is remarkably low. The manganese content in the alloy was notorious for reacting poorly with the environment, causing the coins to tone in often splotchy, dark, and sometimes unpleasant ways. A coin like the very dirty one we're looking at today is the rule, not the exception. Most were spent, handled, and subjected to conditions that left them heavily worn and darkly toned. Finding one with original, problem-free luster hiding beneath the grime is a significant challenge, and high-grade examples are genuinely scarce, having been preserved by only the most forward-thinking collectors of the era. Within the Jefferson Nickel series, the wartime issues, spanning from mid-1942 to 1945, stand out as a distinct and highly collectible subset. The 1943 P is the most common of the wartime nickels by mintage, but that does not diminish its demand. It is the cornerstone of any wartime nickel collection, the first one most collectors acquire, and it serves as the gateway to the rarer Denver and San Francisco issues. Its appeal is universal. Series specialists need it, type collectors seek it for a 20th century type set, and history buffs crave it for its direct link to a global conflict. This consistent, multifaceted demand ensures it will always be a staple in the numismatic marketplace. So, what is the value of this historically important, yet very dirty, 1943 P wartime nickel in today's market? For a coin in good condition, heavily worn with its date and design clear, but lacking detail, you are looking at a value between $2 and $4, primarily for its silver content, which is roughly $1.75 alone. A coin in a more presentable, very good to fine grade, with moderate wear but bolder details, can bring between $5 and $8. If you are fortunate enough to find one in extremely fine, 40, with only slight wear on the highest points and most of its original features intact despite the dirt and toning, values can range from $15 to $25. Uncirculated examples, free of wear, start around $40 and can climb well into the hundreds for gem-quality pieces with attractive, original surfaces, a true rarity given the problematic alloy, for collectors aiming to add a 1943 P nickel to their holdings. The focus should be on finding the best possible example within your budget, prioritizing originality above all else. This means seeking out coins that, while they may be dirty or darkly toned, have not been cleaned or altered. Their surfaces should be consistent, and the large P mint mark should be fully visible. Because of the alloy's tendency to tone erratically, eye appeal is a major factor in value. Your best hunting grounds will be reputable coin dealers, major numismatic auctions, and well-vetted online marketplaces. Always consider having a raw coin like this certified by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC, as they can authenticate it, confirm the surfaces are original, and encapsulate it to preserve its condition for the future, which is especially important for a coin that is so prone to environmental damage. The 1943 P. Jefferson Wartime Nickel is far more than just a piece of pocket change. It is a numismatic monument to a nation's dedication to a global cause, a coin born from necessity that has become a beloved collectible. Its unique silver-manganese composition, the iconic oversized P mint mark, and its challenging survival in decent condition make it a perennial favorite. Whether you are a new collector captivated by its history or a seasoned veteran appreciating its role in the series, this nickel represents an essential and compelling chapter in American coinage. Its story is literally stamped in metal, waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places. And thirdly, we're exploring the most rare and valuable. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel, without a mint mark, has emerged as one of the most intriguing pieces in American numismatics. At first glance, it may appear like any other well-worn coin that once passed through everyday transactions. Yet for collectors, it represents a hidden treasure. Its rising reputation stems not only from its age and association with the pre-war years, but also from the fact that examples in high grades are increasingly scarce. Even in very dirty or circulated condition, the coin sparks interest because of its cultural context, collectible appeal, and the historical narrative it carries. Unlike common nickels that blend into the background of commerce, this one is gradually standing apart as a symbol of early Jefferson-era coinage that has aged into rarity. The coin's historical background adds further depth to its desirability. Minted in 1941 at the Philadelphia Mint, it entered circulation during a pivotal time in U.S. history, as the country stood on the brink of World War II. This was no ordinary year. It represented the last period before America shifted its resources into wartime production, which would dramatically reshape coinage, with silver wartime nickels beginning in 1942. The 1941 nickel therefore captures the final chapter of pre-war coinage, a reminder of national resilience and transition. While the U.S. Mint played the central role, it is important to acknowledge that the Royal Mint in Britain had set earlier global standards in precision and design, influencing the evolution of modern minting practices that American coinage also benefited from. The artistry of the Jefferson Nickel deserves attention as well. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse presents a stately portrait of Thomas Jefferson, a founding father whose ideals of democracy and liberty still resonate. His profile, facing left, conveys dignity and timelessness, while the inscription, "In God We Trust," reinforces both historical and cultural values. On the reverse, Jefferson's Monticello home is depicted with architectural precision, symbolizing both personal legacy and national heritage. Struck in a copper-nickel alloy weighing 5 grams with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, the coin's durability was as much a product of craftsmanship as symbolism. Even in dirty or worn states, the design retains enough strength to speak to its origins and artistic intent. Rarity is what elevates the 1941 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel into the realm of serious collectibles. While millions were minted, survival rates in pristine condition are limited due to heavy wartime circulation in the early 1940s. Full-step examples, where Monticello's steps remain sharp and distinct, are particularly scarce and command high premiums. Error varieties, such as those with doubled dies or weak strikes, add to the intrigue and elevate value even when surfaces are impaired. Collectors prize these nickels even in dirty condition because the scarcity of truly original pieces far outweighs cosmetic flaws. The coin's condition, whether circulated, toned, or worn, still reflects its journey through history and fuels demand in terms of market value. The 1941 Jefferson nickel shows an impressive range. Well-circulated examples in dirty condition may fetch between $500 and $1,000, reflecting their common use, but steady collector demand. Higher-grade circulated pieces often trade in the $2,000 to $3,000 range, while certified mint-state examples can exceed $7,500. Full-step varieties, particularly those certified at higher grades, may realize auction results in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Market enthusiasm, driven by registry set competition and growing appreciation for Jefferson nickels as a serious series, continues to push values upward. The price trajectory reflects not only rarity, but also a cultural shift in how collectors now view mid-20th century coinage. For collectors, acquiring and preserving a 1941 nickel requires diligence. Authentication is critical, as cleaned or altered examples diminish both numismatic and investment appeal. Grading by professional services like PCGS or NGC is often the best way to secure long-term value, especially for pieces with sharp details. Understanding varieties, particularly double dies or full-step designations, can make the difference between a modest coin and a valuable rarity. Preservation is equally important. Dirty examples should never be aggressively cleaned, as originality is prized, and even surface grime can maintain the coin's integrity for future collectors, as an investment. The 1941 Jefferson nickel, without a mint mark, offers both stability and growth potential. It is stable because of its historical significance and broad collector base, and it shows growth potential due to its rising recognition within the numismatic community. Even when found in poor or very dirty condition, it holds cultural weight as a piece of American heritage, ensuring long-term demand. Its symbolism as a pre-war artifact, its artistry, and its emerging reputation among registry set competitors mean it is more than just pocket change. It is a secure piece of numismatic history with a future trajectory that continues to attract investors. Looking ahead, the 1941 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is poised to grow in prominence as collectors continue to recognize its place in the broader narrative of U.S. coinage. Unlike later wartime nickels with their distinct silver composition, this piece represents the last of an era defined by traditional copper-nickel alloy, making it historically and culturally distinct. As younger generations enter the numismatic hobby, coins like this serve as approachable entry points that also carry significant investment promise. The 1941 Jefferson nickel stands as more than a 5-cent coin. It is a cultural and financial artifact that bridges the world of everyday commerce with the deeper narrative of American history. It carries Jefferson's ideals, the craftsmanship of Schlag's design, and the tangible memory of a nation on the cusp of war. For collectors and investors alike, it represents not only an opportunity to own a slice of history, but also a chance to participate in the evolving appreciation of 20th century coinage. Its significance endures, even when found dirty, tarnished, or worn, because its true value lies not in its appearance, but in the legacy it embodies. And fourthly, we'll explore the vast landscape of American numismatics. The 1964 Philadelphia Mint Jefferson nickel exists as a true hidden treasure, a coin whose humble appearance belies its profound status among serious collectors. While billions of nickels were struck in 1964 across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints to alleviate a nationwide coin shortage, the specific specimens from the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the absence of a mint mark, have garnered a mystique entirely their own. This coin commands intense interest not despite its often heavily circulated condition, but because of the narrative its wear tells. It stands apart from ordinary circulation pieces as a key date in the series, a poignant relic from the final year of silver in the 5-cent piece, and a symbol of a nation on the cusp of profound change, making even a very dirty example a highly sought-after piece of history. The historical and cultural backdrop of the 1964 nickel is deeply intertwined with a period of national transition and tragedy. Minted in the aftermath of President John F. Kennedy's assassination, these coins entered circulation during a time of collective mourning and uncertainty. Furthermore, 1964 marked the poignant end of an era for American coinage. It was the final year for the striking of silver dimes and quarters, and the last year the Jefferson nickel would be minted with its traditional composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a metallic link to the pre-war and early post-war economy. While the Royal Mint in the United Kingdom was pioneering new decimal and compositional technologies that would influence global coinage, the U.S. Mint was producing 1964-dated coins in unprecedented, almost frantic quantities to stave off a severe coin shortage, a situation that ironically ensures most survivors are heavily worn, adding layers of historical context to each surviving piece. The design of the coin, a work of artistry by Felix Schlag, is a study in dignified American symbolism. The obverse features a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, the nation's third president and author of the Declaration of Independence, rendered with a subtle strength and clarity. The word liberty arches along the right edge, with the motto, "In God We Trust," positioned to the left of the portrait, framing the founding father within the nation's core principles. The reverse is arguably even more iconic, depicting Jefferson's plantation home, Monticello, in meticulous architectural detail. This representation of a foundational American landmark transforms the coin into a miniature monument. The craftsmanship required to impart the fine lines of the building's columns and portico onto a small nickel planchet is a testament to the minting art, though this very detail is often the first to wear away in circulation, making a fully struck example exceptionally rare. The scarcity of the 1964 Philadelphia nickel is a nuanced concept defined not by a low mintage, as over 1 billion were produced, but by the extreme rarity of examples surviving in high grades. The combination of massive circulation, the softness of the copper-nickel alloy, and the design's susceptibility to wear means that the overwhelming majority of these coins are found in well-worn, often very dirty conditions. This rampant circulation is the primary driver of its numismatic status. Finding a specimen with full steps on Monticello, FS, is a notable challenge. Consequently, even low-grade, circulated examples maintain a significant collector premium over face value because they represent a known, finite population of survivors from a specific, historically charged year. The coin's rarity is measured in its state of preservation, making every identifiable example, regardless of condition, a valuable data point in the series. Current market valuations for the 1964 no mint mark nickel reflect its status as a conditional rarity. A very dirty, low-grade circulated example, perhaps graded good, G4, or very good, VG8, can consistently command between $800 to $1,600, a substantial premium over its face value and a testament to its role as a filler coin for date collectors completing an album. In higher circulated grades like extremely fine, YEF 40, the value can jump to the $2,200 to $3,000 range. However, the market dynamics shift dramatically for uncirculated specimens. A coin graded MS 60 can be worth $3,500 to $5,000, while a pristine MS 65 regularly sells for over $8,000. The ultimate prize, a full-step designation, FS, can propel values into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars for the finest known examples. This steep valuation curve underscores intense collector enthusiasm for quality, driving the market for even the most humble examples as gateways to the series. For collectors pursuing this issue, a meticulous and informed approach is paramount. The first step is accurate identification. Confirming the absence of a mint mark on the reverse to the right of Monticello is essential to distinguish it from the more common 1964D. Given the prevalence of wear and environmental damage, careful examination is required to distinguish honest circulation grime from harmful corrosion or intentional alteration. Investing in professional certification from services like PCGS or NGC is highly advisable, especially for any coin suspected of being uncirculated or possessing full steps. This third-party verification authenticates the coin, confirms its grade, and encapsulates it for long-term preservation, protecting both its physical state and its market value. For a lower grade, dirty example, a gentle distilled water bath may be considered to remove loose surface dirt, but harsh cleaning or polishing must be absolutely avoided as it permanently scars the surface and destroys numismatic value. The 1964 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel transcends its role as mere currency. It is an enduring cultural artifact, a tangible piece of a pivotal year that closed one chapter of American history and opened another. Its value is multifaceted. It is a necessary component for the completist collector, a symbol of mid-20th century industrial minting efforts, and a witness to a nation's grief and resilience. As a financial asset, its appeal is rooted in its fundamental scarcity and high grades, and its perpetual position of demand within one of America's most collected coin series. For the numismatist who recognizes the story embedded in its worn surfaces, this nickel represents not just a 5-cent piece, but an undervalued opportunity and a key to understanding the complex narrative of modern American coinage. Its potential for continued appreciation remains strong, secured by its historical weight and its undeniable place in the pantheon of 20th century numismatics. And at the end, we're exploring the most valuable and rare, the 1989 Jefferson Nickel with the Denver D. Mint mark stands as a fascinating and highly sought-after piece in the world of numismatics, admired for its blend of history, artistry, and rarity. While Jefferson nickels of the late 20th century may often be overlooked compared to earlier wartime issues or mid-century varieties, this coin has captured attention due to its scarcity and high grades, its enduring design, and its growing reputation among collectors. Even when discovered in dirty or circulated condition, it remains a prized treasure because of the historical connection it represents and the potential for extraordinary value when preserved in superior condition. Enthusiasts are captivated by its story, and its position as a collectible gem continues to strengthen in today's market. To truly appreciate the significance of the 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel, it is essential to examine the historical context in which it was produced. Minted at the Denver facility, this coin continued the long-standing Jefferson Nickel series that began in 1938, designed to honor the nation's third president, Thomas Jefferson. The year 1989 itself marked a transitional moment in American culture and economy, as the country stood at the close of the 1980s and looked ahead to the last decade of the 20th century. Coins from this period embody the technological precision of modern minting, yet also preserve the spirit of tradition, serving as a tangible link between earlier decades of coinage and the more contemporary issues to come. The D. Mint mark connects it directly to the Denver Mint, one of the United States' most important coin-producing facilities. The design of the 1989 Jefferson Nickel carries forward the timeless artistry of the series, which has made it a favorite for generations. The obverse features Felix Schlag's enduring portrait of Thomas Jefferson, facing left, with remarkable detail in his hair, coat, and profile. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1989 frame his image, while the Denver D. Mint mark sits as a small but crucial detail that confirms its origin. The reverse, equally iconic, depicts Jefferson's home at Monticello, with the word Monticello prominently displayed beneath the structure, accompanied by E pluribus unum, United States of America, and the denomination 5 cents. Its nickel composition, weighing 5 grams with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, makes it instantly recognizable yet distinct in its craftsmanship. What makes the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel especially intriguing is not just its design, but its rarity in exceptional condition. Millions were minted, but as with many coins from this period, the majority were heavily circulated and subjected to everyday wear. Finding examples that remain uncirculated or even close to mint condition is increasingly difficult, and those that surface in top grades command significant attention from collectors. Coins with errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, further elevate desirability, transforming a standard issue into an extraordinary rarity. Even in dirty condition, the presence of certain varieties can make a coin valuable, as numismatists recognize the potential locked within these small details. The market value of the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel depends heavily on condition, rarity, and collector demand. Circulated or dirty coins typically hold only modest worth, but uncirculated specimens graded by professional services can reach prices in the range of $1,000 to $8,000 when tied to exceptional condition or rare varieties. Auction results demonstrate that high-grade examples consistently attract enthusiastic bidding, driven by the combination of historical importance and scarcity. Over the years, this coin has shown steady appreciation, confirming its place as a strong investment piece in the Jefferson Nickel series. Collectors view it not only as a numismatic artifact, but also as an asset with growing potential. For those wishing to pursue the 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel, certain collecting strategies can prove invaluable. Prioritize examples that have been certified by trusted grading companies, as authentication ensures both legitimacy and accurate assessment of condition. Pay close attention to the presence of errors or varieties, as even small distinctions can translate into significant increases in value. When handling raw coins, minimize direct contact and consider storing them in protective holders to safeguard surfaces from further wear. Joining numismatic communities, attending auctions, and consulting reputable dealers can also provide insights into the latest trends and help identify opportunities to acquire the finest examples. The appeal of the 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel lies not only in its rarity, but also in its ability to bridge the gap between modern and classic coinage. It reminds collectors that value is not solely determined by age, but also by condition, scarcity, and historical resonance. While wartime nickels and earlier Jefferson issues may attract broad recognition, coins like the 1989 D are steadily rising in prominence, reflecting an evolving appreciation among collectors who recognize their unique place in the broader story of American coinage. Even in dirty or well-worn states, the 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel captures the imagination of enthusiasts, as its details often survive the rigors of circulation and hint at its original brilliance. Careful restoration or conservation can sometimes reveal surprising beauty beneath the grime, reinforcing the idea that every coin has a story worth uncovering. For many, the thrill lies in the hunt, the moment of discovery when an ordinary pocket change nickel turns out to be a hidden rarity, waiting to claim its rightful place in a collection. Beyond its numismatic and investment value, the 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel also serves as an educational tool, offering collectors and history enthusiasts a way to engage with America's cultural and monetary heritage. Each coin embodies the artistry of Felix Schlag's design, the legacy of the Denver Mint, and the broader story of U.S. coinage in the late 20th century. For seasoned numismatists, it represents a challenge to track down in superb condition, while for beginners, it can spark a lifelong passion for coin collecting. Its blend of rarity, historical resonance, and aesthetic appeal ensures that this nickel is more than just currency. It is a lasting piece of American history preserved in metal. The 1989 D. Jefferson Nickel is a remarkable fusion of history, artistry, and rarity, commanding respect from collectors and investors alike. Its Denver origin, iconic design, and rising market demand ensure that it remains a prized treasure within the Jefferson Nickel series. Whether encountered in dirty condition or preserved in pristine, uncirculated form, it represents a tangible connection to the past and an enduring opportunity for the future. For collectors seeking both beauty and investment potential, this coin continues to shine as one of the most captivating and rewarding pursuits in modern American numismatics.